Welcome to the Besties with Breasties podcast. Sarah Hall here. I am a certified health and wellness coach, athletic trainer, mom, and breast cancer survivor. I help women overcome their own mind drama to make mind shifts that open up the possibility for their most empowered and energetic life.
And I am Beth Wilmus, author, speaker, and founder of a human investment organization, otherwise known as a nonprofit, called Faith Through Fire. Our mission is to reduce the fear and anxiety that breast cancer patients feel and replace it with hope and a path toward thriving.
This podcast is about our experiences with breast cancer
and life after as young survivors and moms.
Let's talk about this because today we...
Talk about it?
Let's talk about it. Did I say talk about it?
Yeah.
It's the second time I've said that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. We have special guests today.
We do. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Do we want to tell people who that is?
No, we just surprise them. Of course we're going to tell them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sarah's and my husband are with us today in studio. My husband was a little bit apprehensive about coming. Was yours?
For sure.
Yeah. Why?
I
feel like Eric's got a good, bold personality. I thought that he'd be all about it.
Yeah. I mean, he's excited to share. I think at first he was like, well, what am I going to talk about?
Say they don't even know right now.
Yeah,
they have no idea.
Yeah.
I think my husband was more reserved. He's like kind of that more reserved guy anyway.
I love how we're talking about them as if they're not
sitting,
right in the room.
They're sitting right there looking at us talking about them.
Oh, we're here.
Okay, why don't you introduce your husband and I'll introduce mine.
Okay, so I talk about him all the time, but my husband is Gary. He's sitting right across from me. Gary, do you want to tell people how long we've been married? Because I often forget. Do you know?
Ooh, both put on the spot.
16 years.
Oh, you must have done the math before
2005.
Okay. Gary and I actually both forgot our anniversary before. Have you guys ever done that?
Nope.
No.
No? Is your anniversary a big deal for you guys?
Nah.
No.
No.
Nah.
But you've never forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's like the one thing that happens in May for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I was in the car and all of a sudden I get a text from Gary that says, sorry, babe, but I think we both forgot our anniversary was today. The only reason I remembered was because my mom texted me and said, happy anniversary.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, that's okay. I totally forgot too.
Guys, Google Calendar.
We don't have
reoccurring events in Google Calendar. You'll never forget anything.
We don't
What's this now?
Google? What's Google?
I'll have to look that up.
Jeez, you guys. Well, we have been married for 10 years. 10 years this last May.
Yep.
So we just reached our decade.
How did you
Very
guys meet?
We met at a friend's house.
Ooh, I got this one.
Oh, okay.
So
here we go.
We had a mutual friend that we didn't know that we had a mutual friend.
Okay.
I went over there one evening to hang out. Sarah was passing through town.
I came to hang out. I wasn't passing through town. I live there.
You were passing through O'Fallon.
No. He's got this. He said.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah.
10 years later, it's coming to light that it was intentional that she was there.
Yeah. She planned it the whole time.
Yeah.
Sarah came in. We started talking. We connected real well. I let her beat me in pool.
That's right.
Yeah. And maybe, 15, 20 minutes you were there and then you left.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked over at my buddy and I said, that one is mine.
Really? So you were a smitten kitten right away.
Oh, I knew.
And when I left, I also felt the same. And then he MySpace messaged me.
Oh, yeah.
And we went to bike night. And we had our
First
date.
First date was on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
I'll never forget, though, either, because I was getting ready and I was like, oh, gosh, I got to
At
look
Hooters,
nice because
by
I
the
really
way.
do like this guy. And he texts me and he's like, you don't have to look nice.
Yeah, it was bike night at Hooters.
Yeah.
You guys went to Hooters for your first date?
Oh, yeah.
That's how you know you have the right person. When you can be like, we're going to Hooters, and both parties are like, hell yeah. You're like, I'm marrying this person,
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you guys meet?
So we had mutual friends. Gary's friend was dating one of my friends.
Gotcha.
And that's how he and I met. And I was probably smitten with him before he was smitten with me. And actually, I had...
Obviously.
For good reason.
Right. Clearly. Gary had so much game that I was begging him for
Yes,
attention
yes.
was how that was working out. But yeah, I liked him first and we chatted and I don't know, you liked me, right? But you weren't.
Sure. Yeah. No, we hit it off. We hit it off right away.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
But I had to call you first.
Didn't have to.
But I
you
did.
did.
I did. I called him first. I asked I more or less asked you out first.
You did.
Yeah.
I mean, you're persistent. Tenacious is how you have been described.
Yeah, we don't say bossy and we don't say pushy. We say tenacious.
It's good leadership
It's
skills.
nicer.
There you
yeah.
go. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in that 10 to
Yeah.
16 year range of marriage.
Yes.
All right.
The sweet spot.
That's right.
10 to
That's right.
16 years.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to talk about today. We roped the boys in because
Yep.
we want to talk about, like, we're starting our series on marriage,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we're going to talk about how our husbands felt when they found out we had cancer.
And we're going to talk about the biggest challenge they felt as caregiver to us and to the kids.
Yep. And maybe we'll land on how we all think our marriages were impacted, both good and bad, from what we all experienced together.
But before we do that, we are going to cut to our first sponsor.
We did it. We fought our way to survivorship. But for some of us, our story unfolds to include lymphedema. Hearing this new diagnosis can be disheartening, but with the right care, it doesn't have to be the burden it once was. FlexiTouch Plus is a comfortable and convenient home management therapy clinically proven to control swelling better than self-massage while reducing infection risk, outpatient visits, and lymphedema-related care costs. Talk to your doctor to see if the FlexiTouch pump is right for you. Learn more at tactilemedical.com.
So I want to hear from both of you. We'll start with Eric. How did you feel when you first found out that I had cancer?
Well, so that was an interesting day because it was Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm. Which is the day we don't celebrate anyways.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is not a holiday.
So
in
it
our-
hasn't been ruined
in
for
our
you.
marriage.
No.
No.
So it's not
No.
like it's now, been sullied.
No.
No.
Okay.
You can't ruin something that terrible.
Oh, which,
Agree.
before we continue, it should be known that Gary absolutely
Horrors.
abhors Valentine's Day.
Clearly.
Like
All right.
he,
Well, now we celebrate it for different reasons.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Okay, carry on.
So anyway, we went to the oncologist and she was going to do a biopsy, and we pretty much knew that it was like the unspoken, this is cancer, but we have to do a biopsy just to make sure.
Which is like an out of body experience, I feel like.
It was very, we already knew the answer, but
Mhm.
we had to wait for the actual scientific answer that
Mhm.
says, yes, these are cancer cells, this is cancer. And because of the way I process life, my first reaction was, all right, we got a problem, we got to figure out how to solve it. And that's kind of the way my brain tackled it. I don't initially have lots of emotions about things. I go, all right, this is a problem, we can handle it, let's figure out what to do, which
Yeah,
I'm
fix
sure
it
I'm
mode.
sure we'll get on to in the later in the episode, but that is not the best mindset with
Mhm.
something like cancer.
Yeah.
Why did you feel like that was not what you needed?
I mean, I felt like in that moment, I was probably very similar. Like, this is happening, and I probably had feelings about it, but I was just like, okay, what do I need to do? And I
was
buckled
going to say,
under.
because when he's talking about this, I'm like, I feel that's how you are.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Like, so you guys are the same. It's not like, you're coming at it from fix it mode and you're not. You're like, in my interactions with you, I feel like you're very much like that.
yeah. Give me a task, I'll do it.
Team
Yeah.
Hall.
Yeah. Until you hit the wall. Team Hall until you hit the wall. Wow, that's a nice little rhyme. That
Yeah,
should be a
t-shirt.
slogan. Yes.
T-shirt.
So,
T-shirts will be dropping 2022.
so you're doing this thing and you're just like already thinking ahead to how are we going to get to the other side of this?
Right. Yeah. It was, here's a problem, let's fix it. We'll figure out how to get through it. We got this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So emotionally, like, were you guys like
Detached.
detached?
Oh, yeah.
Detached. Yeah.
Both of you?
Yeah.
For the first, few months at least.
For me, I felt like that detachment happened all through treatment
Yeah.
until I got done. And then that's, but I've shared that in my Fallout episode that's when I really came to terms with everything. So we had, we can share about this later, but there was a moment for Eric when it came like to you and you had emotions about it.
I mean, I think you can suppress it for so long and then it's going to eventually bubble up.
Yeah.
And it's going to surface in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I feel like you, Gary, processed the news that I had cancer more emotionally than I did at first. I felt like and I've talked about this in a previous episode, that when I got the call that I had cancer, Gary works out of the house and he was like coming down the steps for coffee. And I just looked at him and said, I have cancer. And I just remember the look on your face and it was just
Yeah, I was stunned.
stunned. Yeah. Like, did you not think that this was coming? I
No.
think I knew. I think I knew as soon as I felt the lump that
No.
this was cancer, but I think he thought that it was a false alarm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was really hoping, and I thought there was a good chance that, I mean, obviously she was young and there was no family history, and so I thought, okay, this is going to come back and we're going to get good news on this.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, yeah, I was stunned. And so my initial reaction after you said that was, I don't know, my head was flooded with stuff. Started thinking about, I don't know, worst case scenario, and
he
it was
tried
just
to-
jumping all over the place.
He tried to
Kids.
he tried to comfort me like right away. Like he reached for me, and my first instinct was to pull away.
Mhm.
Like I was the one that immediately went to detachment.
Mhm.
Like he was like, "I'm so sorry," and which at the time felt like pity, and I
Mhm.
wasn't ready for that yet.
Mhm.
Like I think we were both flooded with emotion, and it was just. And so he reached for me, and I just kind of like stiff armed him. Like he hugged me, and I had my arms to the side, and it immediately I started detaching myself from the situation and
Mhm.
just like was in a state of shock. And I think like you and I sat down kind of on the steps because we didn't have a ton of time to think about this before we had to go pick up the kids. But I don't know that you jumped into fix it mode. I think you were just trying to process like what just happened, because I think we both realized at that moment like our lives were going to be completely different.
There was a little fix it mode
there?
because when we, on the drive to go pick the kids up from school, I called my friend Carrie,
Mm,
who's an oncologist.
Yeah.
So there was, let's
find as much as
do
we
something
can.
about this. All right.
Mhm.
See what we can find out. And so, yeah, we talked to her basically the whole way there and the whole way home.
Mm-hmm. Just to get a handle on what's coming.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cause I felt helpless. It was, just kind of like, now we know this news and we're just kind of supposed to sit here and wait until we go see somebody. It's like, I can't do that.
It feels good to do something.
To try to.
Yeah. Yep. What do you feel like was the biggest challenge that you guys faced as we were going through treatment? So now you kind of know where you are.
Was it
now
happening
that we
fast
had just
for
got
you?
diagnosed? Like,
'Cause I
what
feel-
was?
Didn't you feel like it was so fast and so slow at the same time?
No.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
Well, initially,
We had a newborn.
yeah, no.
Oh, that's true.
Initially, it was a lot of waiting, and that was the hardest part because she was pregnant, and they said we can't do anything. So first, I think the way her oncologist put it, first we have to get you not pregnant.
Yeah.
We have to get you unpregnant, and then we can figure out what to do. And so she was 31 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, we will induce you at 35 weeks. So you have to wait a month before we can even look at any
Mhm.
options.
Wow.
And so that was really tough. It was just wait. And then, again, we just go, all right,
Gosh,
we got to wait for it, and then we'll figure it out.
when
And
I think
then-
back on that time, it feels like between the time of diagnosis and her birth, I like have lost that time in my memory.
Yeah.
I don't
That's what
remember. I
trauma
don't
does.
remember that time really at all.
That's because that's what trauma does. It
'Cause
erases your memory.
You saying that it felt like a long time. I don't even.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like diagnosis. I had her.
No, I think that first few months, because the first month was wait to be
Mhm.
not pregnant, and
Yeah.
then we'll handle it. And as soon as you delivered Henley, she was super healthy. She was tiny, but we were begging them to let us go. Like we can get out of the hospital. She's healthy.
Mhm.
We can handle this. We need to go. And she actually called to schedule her MRI from the hospital before we had left after having Henley, and because that was the plan. As soon as you're not pregnant, schedule an MRI.
Mm.
And she called to schedule an MRI, and they said, cool, we can get you in about 4 weeks. So it was wait another month till when she was actually going to be due.
Yeah.
So we had her 5 weeks early, and then they said, wait another month and we'll figure out what it is then.
I
And
think
that
there's so
was-
much about this that's interesting because you're recalling all those details, and like you said, that's a blur for you.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, I remember everything from when Henley was born. But now that I'm thinking back on it, like the time from that day on Valentine's Day
Yeah.
to when I had her, like I couldn't tell you what happened in that month at all. And that doesn't routinely happen in my life. I
Yeah.
usually remember.
Well, and our
everything.
youngest was 1 when I got diagnosed. Like she had just had her first birthday the month prior. And I cannot imagine, that was hard enough having her be that little with our 2
Mhm.
older ones, but I cannot imagine doing this with a newborn.
Mhm.
There was a lot of anger
Mhm.
in that because we couldn't do anything.
Mhm.
That was my brain said, let's fix this problem. And it was wait a month, and then, oh, by the way, wait another month before you can even start tackling the issue.
Mhm.
And did you
Mhm.
guys feel robbed because here you should be enjoying your daughter and yet now you have
Yeah.
this thing hanging over your head?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, it was definitely tough.
That would be super intense.
But again, we jumped into that fix it mode, and
Mhm.
Sarah was like, "Fine, I'll find a new oncologist."
Yeah, I did. And we
And
fixed
is that
it.
what you
she
did?
Yeah.
and it went great.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, Sarah, you and I talk about that all the time, that if you're not happy with the way things are going, that you got to take the reins and make a change and
Yep.
not be afraid to. And it's very easy, like when you're in that moment and all this scary stuff's happening, to feel paralyzed.
Yep.
So it's
Yeah.
kudos to you for having
You have to, it's like we teach this in breath work all the time, but if you just stop and you take a deep breath and then you move forward, like it gives you a clearer head and then you can make a better decision. So yeah, I'm almost glad the way that everything turned out. It was really frustrating at the time, but yeah, it worked out good in the end.
So here's a question I want to know. What did you guys think was the hardest part of treatment? Like, what did you guys, being the caregivers, having to take on all the responsibilities for parenting and, financially with the work and then watching us go through that, what part was the hardest for you?
I would say it felt lonely.
Yeah.
It was lonely. I mean, even like, after your treatment and, feeling sick, you were up in the bedroom. I mean, we were just kind of like living our lives downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And, with all the kids, the kids and routine and all that stuff, it was good because it was a distraction to a point. But then you're just realizing like it's day after day. And then when you start to feel better, you'd come downstairs and you'd hang out for a little while, for a day or two, and then be back to treatment. And we go through it again. And it started even when your first surgery, when you went, and then afterwards you went to go live at your parents' house for a little while, so they could take care of you.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever talked about that.
No, you haven't.
So,
What?
okay.
What?
So,
What happened?
well, that sounds weird. Like, oh, I went to go live with them.
Yeah.
But so like all of a sudden I just went to go live with somebody else.
Yeah.
Did I just out you?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
It does sound really weird. So we had a 6, a 4, and a 1-year-old, and I was going to have my double mastectomy, and we had not really told the kids that I had cancer. We had explained each part of the process separately. So we were just taking it piece by piece and kind of telling them. So the first step was mom needs to go have a surgery. It's going to be like when she went to the hospital and had baby Charlotte. And we didn't know what that was going to be like. We didn't know what recovery was going to be like. We didn't know how hard it was going to be. I knew I was going to have drains that needed to be changed and all this stuff. And I didn't want the kids' routine changed at all. Like I wanted to keep things, for some reason, when I was diagnosed, it was so important to me mentally. And I think it was just a total hang up. But in my mind, it was like, if I can keep things as normal as possible for them, then this isn't happening. And so I didn't want to be there disrupting the routine. And so it was my idea. I was like, why don't I, after I have my double mastectomy, recover at my mom and dad's house for a week? And I think it ended up being 2. I think I came home on the second week. But I'll recover there, and that way the kids' schedule can stay the same. If it's a hot mess express, they're not going to see it. We just didn't know what to expect, and I wanted to shield them from seeing anything that they might scar them. Was my thought.
It's the exact opposite.
That's
of how
interesting
we
because
did it.
that's exactly the opposite. Well, which you had multiple kids who could understand. We had Piper, who was
3.5,
3.5, and we decided we're going to bring her in right away and tell her what's going on. We're going to share everything with her so that she understands the whole process that we're, so like when we're changing drains out, she understands it. So we put everything on the table. We told her,
which I think most people
explained cancer to her, showed her the surgical
as
sites.
much as she could get it as a 3-year-old.
Yeah. But we wanted her involved in the process to be able to, I guess, cope with it along the way.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this because I think the consensus in the mental health field is that that's probably the healthier way to do it. But Gary and I have talked about this a million times, and we do not regret going that path. It was the kids just didn't skip a beat.
No, I totally respect your guys' decision. Anybody else who does that, I just, even looking back, it's not something that I feel like we made the wrong move. I do feel because our kids were small, and I think they have such a limited
bandwidth.
Yeah. And
understanding.
So I feel like there was a greater potential to upset them, to scare them over something that they didn't fully understand or control. So it was a matter of, I'm not going to burden them with that. And when we're just going to explain what we need to explain, that what you're seeing mom go through, what you're seeing mom, how her body's changing, or, her hair and all these different things, it's because of medicine. She's got to take this. And I figure just give them what they need to where it doesn't upset them.
But we did
Yeah.
say,
And it
to
explains
each
the
other.
situation.
Yeah, we did say that if they ever directly ask or they seem fearful, we were going to be completely honest. It wasn't like we were going to lie to them.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I did, after I had my double mastectomy, I went to my mom and dad's house, and I have to say that it was wonderful because they doted on me.
Mhm.
Like 24/7, my mom and dad doted on me. They took care of me. I didn't have to worry about how does this look in front of the kids, or what are the kids doing, or how's Gary doing? And they just doted on me, and I recovered really quickly.
Mhm.
I mean, I was walking and moving around within days. And at week 2, I was back home with the kids and Gary and stuff. But I can imagine how lonely it was for Gary. Your wife is not only sick, but now she's not in the house.
Mhm.
And you're still having to parent the kids and do all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I completely could see how lonely that would be. And I feel like it's lonely too, because I think as the patient, you're just mentally somewhere else a lot of the time.
Mhm.
Like at one point, Gary had to tell me, like, you're freezing me out. Like this can't go on. Like you're trying to distance yourself from us and it's not working. And when he called me on it, I realized he was telling yeah, okay, he's right.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm emotionally distancing myself from him, from the kids. And once he called me out on that, I guess that allowed me to put that wall down.
Mhm.
And then it was like we were in it together. Do you feel like
Yeah.
that, Gary?
Yeah. There was, it started, I think, when you first got the news. Like you said, you were wanting to keep everything at arm's length, and I'm not sure why. But then, yeah, after we had that conversation, things started to change.
Yeah. So what do you guys both feel like? Because I'm sure, Eric, you agree that it's like pretty lonely to be on the other side.
I don't feel like I felt loneliness because we were at home, all 4 of us at that
Yeah.
point, the whole time. For me, it was the feeling of I have a job to do. And so my MO is I don't process emotion very well. I say, I'm going to fix the problem. So I didn't let myself become emotional about the situation. So I was the caretaker at that point for however many months, which means I shut off all of my personal needs to take care of her and the girls. And you forget about things that you don't know that you're doing, and one big thing was that you don't have sex when you're going through cancer treatments.
Right.
It's not an option. But me being the caretaker with 2 girls and a newborn and her going through treatments, I didn't take any time for myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that I was doing that until I hit a wall and just broke down.
Don't you guys? I mean, I think that sex for men is how you feel close to your wives.
Definitely.
If you're not having sex with your wife, and then on top of it, we're mentally somewhere else because we're grappling with this whole, am I going to die? Am I going to leave my family?
Yeah.
Like, you can imagine that intimacy is probably not top and center
Yeah.
for any of us. And that's
Yeah.
got to be like, I mean, I will say that when I was going through treatment, the last thing on my mind was sex, but I can imagine that it was probably on your guys' mind because that's how you feel close to your wives.
Because
And now-
we're dudes too.
You're dudes.
Yeah.
And now your wife isn't accessible and they're having all these surgeries and stuff. So
Yeah.
I want to dive into all this. But before we do you want to do boobs?
Yes, let's do boobs.
Okay. I'm excited about this, you guys, because usually either Sarah or I do the boobs and the other one doesn't know. But this time we put the boys in charge of boobs.
In the news.
Boobs in the news, right? Let's be clear. So we told the boys their homework was to bring up boobs in the news, and we may do 2. Should we do 2?
Yeah, we're definitely doing 2.
Okay, so they each brought one.
Yeah.
So for the people that are listening, boobs in the news is like a lot of people's favorite segment. So you're getting a double whammy today.
So Boobs in the News is a funny segment where we read funny tweets from real people or ridiculous news stories.
Boobs in the news, boobs in the news, boobs in the news.
All right, Gary, you're up.
Okay. All right. So mine comes from a Turkish man. So this is, international news.
Okay.
A 50-year-old Turkish man, Beyhan Mutlu, who lives in the northwestern province of Turkey.
Can I just say, you have never been more sexy to me. The fact that you could pronounce his name.
If you look at it, you wouldn't be all that impressed. It's pretty straightforward.
I know I couldn't do it. Anyway, continue.
So Beyhan, he gets drunk and wanders into the nearby forest, the nearby woods, and turned up missing. And so his friends formed a search party.
Okay.
And so the search operation was formed. It was a group of volunteers and some of his friends. And eventually, Behan finds the search party, joins the search party without knowing what the search party is. And the search party was yelling his name. And he was standing amongst them. Standing amongst them. And it says that Behan became confused and asked who they were looking for. And so he said, "I'm right here," he told them. And then so police realized that the man that they were looking for had joined his own search party.
What in the world?
And so they,
Sorry, Gary, you are officially getting all of our
and so they gave him a ride home.
Oh,
They gave him- Okay, you said it was made up of his friends.
I'd call that a success.
Maybe the friends reported it, but the police were involved.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
It's hilarious.
I'm going to say Behan hit his head on a rock.
For sure.
Okay, well, I don't think we need to guess who the boob is in that
Yeah.
story. Behan.
Behan.
All right, Eric, you're up.
Okay. Mine is less international,
Okay.
but out of Florida.
Oh, it's
Because
always out of Florida.
If you're looking
is.
for idiots
It's
and
in Florida.
boobs doing stupid
Unfortunately,
things,
it's in
It's Florida
Go
or
to-
Germany, right?
go to Florida. So this story is out of Deltona, Florida.
Okay.
It was just
Daytona or
two weeks-
Deltona?
Deltona.
Okay. I didn't know
Deltona,
there was a
Florida.
Deltona.
This was 2 weeks ago. So this is Dewey Smith, who was arrested Wednesday by deputies with the Volusia County Sheriff's Office
Okay.
for suspected break-ins in vehicles along a road.
Okay.
And this is some great detective work by the sheriff's deputies. As they were canvassing the neighborhood, they spoke with a woman who said that Smith, who was an acquaintance of hers, had stopped by in the night asking if she knew anyone who wanted to buy a gun. She said he also asked her to call a number to check the balance on a gift card. And when he left, he raided her trash can and took a box of pizza that she had thrown away with leftover pizza in it. So while they're doing their investigation, they search the first car and they find on the center console marinara sauce.
The marinara gave him away.
Marinara sauce on the center console. Then they go to the next car down the road and they find a pizza box with leftover bites of pizza
Oh, no.
in the vehicle.
Dewey.
Goldilocks left the crumbs.
And so they put 2 and 2 together and they caught him walking the street about a couple miles away and picked him up and they said, "We know it was you." And he said, "You're right. You caught me red-handed."
Deny, Dewey, deny. I mean, really, in any Law and Order, the criminal would have been like, "You got nothing. You got some marinara in a pizza box." Like,
I don't think you
Right.
got the joke.
I don't get the joke.
It's marinara sauce. He said, "You
Red-handed.
caught me
His hand was
red-handed."
literally red.
Oh my god.
Beth, it's a good thing you're cute.
I totally missed that. See, that's my ADD kicking in. Wah, wah, wah.
She got caught up in the.
So I was in the details. I was like really trying to follow the details.
Now
of that
you're
one.
the boob.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
the
the
boob.
boob.
All right, fine. That's the boob.
Bibs in the news, bibs in the news, bibs in the news.
So we're talking like we got to like the intimacy thing pretty quick, but which I think is a huge issue for like a lot of people.
as you should on most occasions.
Right.
Ah.
I think people would tune
Well,
into
no,
it.
I mean, the reason I feel like we should talk about why we wanted to do this episode, and it's because we see a lot of women who the issue in their marriage becomes the intimacy, and that's the reason a lot of the times why
Marriages
their
don't
relationships don't last through a breast cancer diagnosis
Well, okay,
or a
so
cancer diagnosis. In
So
general.
before we go there, I do want to say this. I think that if there's some similarities, because I think as couples we're different in a lot of ways, but I would suggest that the thing that we're similar in is that all of us exhibit a lot of resiliency,
Mhm.
right? Like we're just kind of like pick yourself up.
Yeah.
We're gonna plow through. We're gonna make this happen.
Absolutely.
And I think that a lot of time for marriages, because marriages either make it or they don't make it, or they're really impacted and they're on the rocks. It's like, I wonder how much of that resiliency and all of us kind of exhibiting those traits helped us kind of come through to the other side. Did you guys always feel like marriage was always like, we were going to figure this out no matter what? Or do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think for us that it was a great tool in the beginning for, you know what, we're a team, we're going to handle this together, we're going to get through it, we're going to figure it out. I think that the issue that I had in the long term was that I never let go of that mentality, and I never let it become personal. I treated it as, you know what, this is a problem, we got to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And I never let myself be vulnerable to the emotional side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is why you get teary now.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
why now I can
Mhm.
choke up about it. But yeah, I didn't realize how important that part of the process was to not just treat it like a problem that you have to fix, but it took me until the point where I hit like I said earlier, I hit a wall, and then I didn't know what to do with that emotional baggage that I had just been tucking down underneath problem solving.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it all the time, like that emotions are going to surface. And I think, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Gary, but you were pretty good at tamping those emotions down as well. Like, did you feel that way, or did you feel?
Yeah,
like-
I don't remember feeling emotional at the time. I think it was, I think I was using, like I said, just the routine with everything and staying busy as a distraction from letting my mind go to the worst places.
Did you feel like Eric did, though, that you were losing parts of yourself in this whole process? Like that you felt like I mean, I personally am just saying that I think that even now you can, sometimes it's always about me. Like even today, we have a nonprofit, we're dealing with breast cancer. Here we are 5 years later, we're still in it. It's like, it's always about us. It's always about what we're doing and what happened to us. And I just could see how it'd be very easy to feel lost in that shuffle, like where your needs get put second for an extended period of time and how stressful that must feel.
I can honestly say that I did not feel that way.
Really?
I felt like my role in this was to just be support. I mean, to step in and do what otherwise you would be doing. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's how I
just wonder,
I think
all of us being so resilient, if it's like just really easy for us to try to kind of ignore how it really feels.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was for me. It was easy for me to sit there and be like, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Emotions are just in general very vulnerable, and you have to face them to get through them. And if you don't ever face them, then they're always going to come up when you talk about that. So
Yeah. So, okay. So you're talking, Eric, about how this was like, you were kind of suppressing all these feelings. Like, when did it surface? Like, when did you figure out, oh shoot, I have to like take care of my piece in this? Like, get my head wrapped around this.
I don't know a specific time. I just know that it was, I just broke down. I didn't, it was like a flood. Like I pushed all this stuff behind in the back corner until it kind of just broke loose. And then I was super emotional again. And I think that's why, 3 years later, I get choked up at the groundbreaking. Just simple stuff like that. I get choked up just thinking about it now because I don't feel like I processed it very well emotionally in the beginning. And a lot of that came from seeing a counselor, which I highly recommend to anybody. If you're going through treatment or your spouse is going through treatment, go see a counselor and talk to somebody so that you don't end up repressing all of that. And that was huge for me, was to speak to somebody who is unattached from the situation, who could ask lots of questions, and I could open up to in a very vulnerable position.
Right, because they're not going to judge you.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's the value
Yeah.
of counseling, is that you have somebody that is not going to judge your feelings. They're going to validate them, if anything, and allow you to feel the way you actually feel without fearing that it means something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's like critical.
Yep.
So let's talk about like what we think.
What's the good?
What's
that came out
Is there
of it?
good?
Like,
Is there good? Or is it just like, this has been a train wreck that
oh no, the look on both of your faces. So like, in what ways did going through this, and there's always got to be some kind of like light at the end of the tunnel. In what ways has our marriage got better since?
Are you asking me directly?
I'm asking you directly.
Well,
you guys are looking at each other.
And then Beth can ask Gary.
We have always...
And I can talk about my marriage to your wife.
We have always based everything we do on good communication. And even still, during that process, it wasn't... My role was not to communicate my feelings to you. It was to be the provider of our family and make things okay. And so I learned a lot about how I communicate emotion. And now, at the point that we're at now, letting you know those things before they get to a point where I can't control it anymore and it just spills out. So I think, I learned a lot about how I deal with issues and understanding that it's okay to have feelings, even during times where I feel like my job is to be in charge, I guess, or to be the provider. I can still feel.
So you can be a strong, stable one and also have feelings.
Correct.
There you go.
Do you feel like you're married to the kind of like yours and Sarah's marriage is the kind where you can be vulnerable with her and she is going to respect how you feel and kind of honor that? Like, is that a safe space? Because I feel like that's a big part of a good marriage, and getting through something difficult is that there's no wrong answers to some degree, right? Like you can just hear what they're saying and respect it, and just, I don't know, like it has to be a safe space. Like, if I tell Gary how I'm feeling, I know he's not going to attack me for those feelings. I mean, not that we haven't had some hard moments, because we have. But I feel like trust that you can get through that is really critical if you're going to be real. Like, I don't know.
I think what's really interesting that has come out of it is that we talk about our differences. Like, even when it comes to, like, the way that we view things, how it could be different. And at the end of the day, we can respect that your view is different than my view. And it's still fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question.
I don't know if it does either. I'm done psychoanalyzing you two.
Okay, I know. Like, we just turned this into a therapy couch.
I think you guys are really cute. I just I think you complement each other quite well.
Yeah.
So I was just, I don't know.
Okay. Do you feel like there has been something good that you learned from the experience that has made your marriage better?
Yeah, I definitely think that. And I think that some people who might be listening to this will shake their head and say, no way. But going through that experience totally strengthened our relationship, our marriage. And that's what I've kind of heard since, going through this and getting to the other side of this, is that it kind of does one of two things, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'll bring you closer, it'll split you apart.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like, something like you go through something this big, almost feels like going through war together.
Mm-hmm.
And in our case, it brought us a lot closer, strengthened our marriage,
strengthened our faith.
But I think it also, to that point, it changed our perspective on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It helped us put things in perspective. The things that we were putting importance on, we realized, and this was something that we could then go through and acknowledge together, that we were really focusing and putting too much importance on the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
Job, status, money, stuff.
Yeah.
Not to say that, those things are bad, but if for us, it was, now that I look back at it, we were totally pointing in the wrong direction. And I think we've gotten our bearings straight, I guess. And then, now obviously the whole Faith Through Fire and this lovely podcast has come out of this. So there's a lot of good that has come out of it. And I actually think that we are both better
for it.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But I mean, it takes like intentionality. And I think that fortunately for us, and I do not take it for granted, we grew together instead of apart. But I think we always had that intent, right? We went into it like, we want to be stronger for this, and we're going to be in it together.
But we had a strong marriage going in.
We did.
Yeah.
And that really helps.
I think it's a lot more touch and go if the marriage isn't so great going into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up this episode, let's hear from our second sponsor.
SSM Health is a proud sponsor of the Besties with Breasties podcast. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer during their lifetime. Early detection is key, and keeping up to date on yearly mammograms could be life-saving. At SSM Health, we offer patients in the St. Louis area online scheduling for mammograms, including next-day appointments. Visit ssmhealth.com/schedule-mam to make your appointment now.
Do either of you guys have any advice for people listening whose marriages maybe have been impacted, or who have just been diagnosed and they're grappling with how this is going to impact their marriage? Any words of wisdom or things that you wish you had known before you went through it?
Respect the emotions that come with the whole ordeal, even if that's not your normal. Don't bury the emotions, and use your resources. We had a great team behind us, between family, coworkers, friends, everybody. People are going to give you as much of them as they can to help you in your journey. Use that and don't feel guilty about using it.
Oh, that's a good point. We didn't even touch on that.
Yeah.
There is no guilt in letting people help.
I do want to have
good one, Eric. You stole my answer.
Yeah.
Next time I want to go first.
Yeah. Well, you can speak to this, Gary, because at first he struggled with accepting help from other people. Like he felt like that. I'll let you speak.
That's
to that.
exactly my answer. Is now, especially from the husbands or the caretaker side of this equation. Yeah, just to say the same thing that Eric did is accept the help.
Mm-hmm.
The offers of help and support that you get from your support circle and your loved ones, take them up on it. Because once I kind of finally gave in and started to do that, it was really nice. I mean, to have people around, to have people help you out, to help people making food, all of it was really important. And looking back on it now, I've resisted it and kept it all at arm's length for way too long. So.
Yeah, you can practice your thank you face in the mirror. Thank you.
Just say thank you. Just say thank you.
Yeah.
So true.
Yes. So thank you for being here today. I'll practice my thank you face. Thank you for coming and being vulnerable and sharing about your experience. And next time on the podcast, we are going to be speaking with Marie. She's going to be sharing her experience with her marriage. And she is a self-proclaimed jerk before her diagnosis.
Oh, I love this story.
And how her cancer diagnosis changed her. So until next time, guys.
See ya. If you are a breast cancer survivor and you love Besties with Breasties, make sure you join our survivorship support network at faiththroughfire.org to gain access to exclusive episodes that are ad-free and uncensored.